Everyone is for sale. Craig Moore has seen enough ahead of Rangers' summer exodus. Liam Kelly Rangers' exit twist emerges after new development. Chris Jack issues new Vaclav Cerny to Rangers transfer update. James Tavernier exit. Chris Jack issues huge Rangers claim. Kris Boyd baffled by Rangers players as Barry Ferguson nears exit. Want to see these and more Rangers news? Stay until the end. We are the people. Former Rangers man Craig Moore has just lit the fuse ahead of what could be one of the biggest clear-outs in recent Ibrox history. His words, "Everyone is for sale," and by the sounds of it, he means everyone. Following another lifeless performance and more dropped points, this time to St Mirren, Moore's had enough. On Go Radio, he didn't mince his words. Aside from young Hamza Igamane, who he reckons still has raw quality and big potential, Moore believes the entire squad can be shipped out if the right offers come in. "Fill your boots," he said. That's how bad things have got. And you know what? He might not be far off. This Rangers squad has failed to deliver, failed to match Celtic's hunger, and failed to give you anything close to what you deserve. With the 49ers taking control and Kevin Thelwell pulling the strings behind the scenes, this could finally be the ruthless shake-up Rangers need to catch up with the Celtic machine that's been running wild for over a decade. The reality is simple. Celtic sell smart. They shift big names at their peak, Tierney, Jota, O'Reilly, and reinvest. Rangers have clung on too long to names that should have moved on. Maybe this summer that finally changes. Would you sell everyone at Rangers this summer, even the so-called stars, if it meant building a proper title-winning squad from scratch? Liam Kelly, a boyhood Rangers lad who finally got his chance to wear that #1 shirt, has come out after the St Mirren shambles and basically said what most of you have been screaming for weeks: this team isn't good enough, and he knows it. Now, credit where it's due. The way Kelly spoke after the game, that was passion, that was raw honesty, that was someone who gets what it means to wear that crest. He didn't hide, he didn't pass the blame, he owned it. And in a dressing room full of passengers and bottle merchants, that alone stands out. But here's where the big question starts. Kelly's had a few solid outings, he's pulled off big saves, penalty stop in Europe, some good shot stopping domestically. But then again, there's Jack Butland. At his best, he's looked like the next Alan McGregor. At his worst, you'd swear he was still playing for Stoke. And let's not forget, whoever walks in as the new manager, whether it's Russell Martin, Marco Rose, or even Steven Gerrard, again, will want their guy between the sticks. They might want someone who can play out from the back, someone sharper, someone completely new. So here's the question I need you to answer right now in the comments. Should Rangers go into next season with Kelly or Butland as #1, or rip it all up and bring in a brand new keeper? Vaklav Cerny, arguably the most exciting and consistent player in a Rangers shirt this season, is now unlikely to stay at Ibrox. Why? Because he's been too good. Yes, you heard that right. According to Chris Jack, Rangers have essentially played themselves out of the deal. The price tag is now £7 million, and the club doesn't fancy matching that. Apparently, the finances won't stack up. Absolutely infuriating. This is a winger who's racked up 17 goals and 7 assists in just under 50 appearances. He's not just part of the team, he is the attack. He's played under 2 different managers in 2 very different systems and has thrived in both. He's quick, intelligent on the ball, versatile, and has the swagger and bite you want in a Rangers forward. He's been one of the few bright sparks in what's otherwise been a season of collapse, inconsistency, and frankly, mediocrity. And now we're preparing to say goodbye. Let's be clear, letting Cerny go wouldn't just be a mistake, it would be a monumental statement about this club's ambition or lack of it. We've watched Celtic steam ahead on the back of proper planning, continuity, and strategic spending. Meanwhile, we're being told that spending £7 million on a player who's already proven he can do it at Ibrox, is a step too far. If the new manager, whoever it ends up being, wants to build a system with pace, intensity, pressing, and cutting edge in the final third, then Cerny is the player you keep. Not maybe. Not if. You keep him, you build around him, otherwise you're not building anything. You're repeating the cycle. And let's talk about the message it sends to the support. After a trophyless season and the Celtic smugness reaching new heights, if you can't even secure the one guy who's delivered for you on the pitch, how are you convincing anyone this new era is real? Is letting Vaclav Cerny walk away without a fight a total betrayal of Rangers' ambition? Or are we right not to splash £7 million in this rebuild? Right, let's talk about the elephant in the room, James Tavernier. According to Chris Jack, this summer might be the moment, the final turning point, the right time for Rangers to sell their long-serving captain. A bold claim, but maybe not an outrageous one. You've got 1 year left on his deal. He turns 33 later this year, and come January, he'll be free to talk to other clubs. Wait any longer, and you're watching a man walk out of Ibrox for absolutely nothing. Now, no one can deny what Tavernier has given this club. He's been here through the storm, promotion from the Championship, 55, a Europa League final, goals galore. He's the highest scoring defender in British football, but football, especially at a club like Rangers, is about what comes next. And if you're honest with yourself, ask this: is Tavernier the man to lead the line defensively into the next era? He started at right back, even filled in at centre back, probably more out of necessity than design, but his defensive frailties haven't just been exposed, they've been exploited. It's no surprise that every pundit and their dog is calling for 2 new fullbacks this summer. If the backline is going to be rebuilt, do you really build around a 32-year-old who can't be a second choice? Now, let's talk business. £2 million is about as good as it gets in terms of fee. Offload the wages, inject the funds into the squad, and make space for a real modern right back, one that suits a pressing, aggressive, high-line system. It's not about disrespecting Tavernier, it's about making a football decision at the right time before emotion drags the club down. Is it time for James Tavernier to leave Ibrox this summer to protect his legacy, or should he stay and fight for his place in the new era? Kris Boyd is absolutely raging, and rightly so. After another pathetic stumble against St Mirren, with Rangers blowing the lead not once but twice, Boyd's come out swinging. And listen, it's not just frustration, it's a deeper, more damning indictment of where this club's really at, because for all the talk about new managers, sporting directors, and shiny takeovers, the one thing that's never changing is the group of players who are consistently letting this club down. This Boyd, speaking in the Scottish Sun, said what you've probably been thinking for months. How many more managers need to get sacked before somebody finally points the finger at the players themselves? And honestly, you can't argue. We're on track for our 4th permanent manager in 4 years, not even counting the interim stints from Steve Davis and Barry Ferguson. That's not mismanagement, that's institutional failure, and the core of it is sitting right there in that dressing room. Barry Ferguson might not be the long-term solution, fair enough, but what's he supposed to do when a large part of that squad can't string 2 consistent performances together? You saw it with Clement, you saw it with Beale, Giovanni. It's rinse and repeat. New gaffer, brief lift, collapse, same cycle, same passengers. And let's not pretend this is just about tactics or form. It's about mentality. You cannot challenge Celtic or anyone, frankly, when half the team looks like they're clocking in for a part-time shift at Tesco. Where's the hunger? Where's the fight? Where's the understanding that every point dropped is another trophy down the drain? Ferguson has said himself, drawing games in this league is as good as a defeat, and he's right. Celtic know how to win ugly, scrap through, and keep racking up the points. That's why they're celebrating titles while we're celebrating second place. Now, we've got Kevin Thelwell arriving from Everton. The 49ers takeovers close to completion. There's momentum building off the pitch, and that's great. But if that doesn't come hand in hand with a ruthless overhaul of this squad, starting with the ones who've coasted through 3 managers already, then we're wasting time. This summer has to be different. It has to be brutal. No more sentiment, no more soft touches. If you're not good enough to wear that shirt and deliver on the pitch, you're out. End of. Is Boyd right? Have the Rangers board been sacking the wrong people all along? Should it be the players who go before any more managers pay the price? Or is there still a core worth saving in that dressing room? Let me know. If you haven't seen yesterday's video yet, you're missing out. Explosive news about Rangers that'll leave every fan stunned. Go check it out now.